Hi guys. Psychological safety is a critical concept for leaders, but not everyone knows or understands it. I frequently touch upon this topic in my coaching sessions with leaders. I also discuss this important topic with physicians in the Stanford Physician Leadership Program, where I serve as coach and course faculty. So today, I will explain to you the concept of psychological safety through a compelling example. I will also discuss essential leadership traits that enable a leader to establish a safe and supportive environment for their team. So let's get started. Psychological safety is like a sturdy bridge. Just as a well-constructed bridge provides a secure and reliable path for people to cross over challenging terrain, a roaring river or a gaping ravine, psychological safety offers a secure space for individuals to express themselves, share ideas, and navigate interpersonal challenges without fear of facing retaliation or negative consequences. Psychological safety is about creating an environment where individuals feel safe to express their ideas, voice concerns, and admit mistakes, take calculated risk without fear of humiliation or punishment. Guys, as leaders, we play a critical role in creating a psychologically safe space by encouraging open communication and modeling openness. In fact, creating and maintaining psychological safety is key responsibility for leaders who seek to provide a positive and productive environment. It requires promoting a culture of respect and learning from mistakes. Amy Edmondson, the Harvard Business School professor and author of Fearless Organization, coined the term team psychological safety. I had the privilege of listening to Amy discuss psychological safety in the workplace during the Stanford Physician Leadership Program. Her insights piqued my curiosity, leading me to read her book. I highly recommend this book for a leadership book club or for self-study. The concept of psychological safety holds paramount importance in healthcare settings, and Amy provides numerous such examples in her book. Psychological safety fosters open communication, trust, and a culture of learning and improvement, ultimately contributing to the success and well-being of the individuals and teams. So let me illustrate this concept by way of a great example. This is the story of Johnson Johnson's Tylenol Crisis. In the early 1980s, the company faced a major crisis when 7 people in the Chicago area died after consuming cyanide-laced Tylenol capsule. These capsules laced with cyanide were placed in some pharmacies in the Chicago area. The company then had to explain to the world why its trusted product was suddenly killing people. Jim Burke, the CEO of Johnson Johnson at that time, faced a daunting challenge. This was a severe threat to the company's reputation and the safety of its products. Guys, the typical response of a CEO could have been to blame someone within the company for the breach and take punitive action. However, Burke took a different approach. Instead of seeking to place blame, Burke prioritized the safety of consumers. He immediately ordered a nationwide recall of all capsules. The company spent more than $100 million recalling 32 million bottles of Tylenol. Mr. Burke placed himself before news cameras and apologized. He expressed deep regret for lives lost and took full responsibility for the crisis. He worked closely with law enforcement and introduced tamper-proof packaging, which became an industry standard later. His response demonstrated Burke's strong leadership. It fostered a culture of psychological safety within the company. Employees saw that their CEO prioritized honesty, accountability, and the safety of public over profit. They felt empowered to speak up about potential product safety concerns and work together to prevent similar incidents in the future. As a result, Johnson Johnson not only weathered the crisis but also emerged stronger in its commitment to safety and its ethical leadership. Burke's approach to handling the Tylenol crisis is a classic example of how a leader's response to a crisis can foster psychological safe environment and rebuild trust within an organization. What key behaviors did Burke demonstrate that promoted psychological safety in Johnson Johnson? First and foremost was his commitment to greater good by taking quick action and decisive action. Burke acted quickly by ordering a nationwide recall of all Tylenol capsules, demonstrating his commitment to protecting public safety. This decisive action showed that he took the crisis seriously and prioritized immediate corrective measures. He honored transparency and open communication. He maintained open and transparent communication with the public, with media, and his employees. This transparency built trust and demonstrated a commitment to honesty. According to media reports at that time, the Tylenol crisis was in the news every night on every station for 6 weeks. Burke, instead of hiding from the media, met the challenge head-on. He contacted the news networks in order to keep them informed. He also met with directors of FBI and FDA. He accepted responsibility. Burke accepted full responsibility for the situation, even though the tampering had occurred outside the company's control. He didn't deflect blame or attempt to shift responsibility onto others. By doing so, he set an example of accountability. He did not resort to criticism or fault-finding, which we know don't work. Criticism, in fact, undermines psychological safety, as I illustrated in my earlier video. Burke showed empathy and compassion. He expressed deep regret for the lives lost and showed empathy for affected families. This empathetic response showed his concern for the well-being of individuals, fostering a sense of care and compassion within the organization. Burke also put people before profit. He prioritized public safety over financial considerations. This decision to prioritize human life over profits sent a clear message to employees that ethical considerations took precedence over financial gains. By doing so, he earned the trust of his people and public. He earned moral authority. By the way, you can watch my video on moral authority I posted earlier. These leadership concepts are related, hence it pays to expand your knowledge. Let's keep moving along. Burke also used collaborative approach to problem solving. He asked his people how they would handle the crisis to get some advice. He worked closely with law enforcement and government to address the crisis. His collaborative approach showed that he valued partnership and was willing to work collectively to find solutions. He operated on principle of inclusion and teamwork. By involving various stakeholders in addressing the crisis, Burke promoted a culture of teamwork and inclusion. He also encouraged employees at all levels to contribute to solving the problem. And lastly, he set ethical standards. His response set a high ethical standard for the company, making it clear that integrity and safety were non-negotiable values. Guys, Burke's actions have become a legendary example of crisis management and fostering psychological safety. You know, various religious texts also touch upon the principle of psychological safety. Here is a verse from Hindu scripture Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, verse 3. Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, wisdom, knowledge, and religiousness. These are the qualities of a Brahman. Brahman in my Hindi language is a priest. You know guys, I say that these are the qualities of a leader who provides safe space for people to grow and succeed. These leaders inspire us. They have tremendous influence over us. I am adding the link to my video titled Leading with Heart to help you further understand the concept of psychological safety. Johnson's incidents and Burke's ethical leadership have served as the basis for case studies in many business schools and management books. Burke not only saved the reputation of the company, but he also saved the brand. By emulating leaders like Burke, you can become a source of inspiration and motivation for others. This will enable you to form a cohesive team to achieve great things for your organization. Take charge.